Hi everyone, this is Dr. Kim's Scholarship and Journey. Welcome to my channel. Today we'll explore the parable of the entrusted money. Entrusted money. So the money issue. Unlike New York stock market, but in a different sense, we all need the money and we have some, and we should know what to do with the money. So Jesus' parable teaches about what we should do about the money. Not the real money, but the money represents things that we received from God, whether that may be time or gifts, particular, abilities, whatever those are. This is a topic that we are, exploring somehow, quite interesting. So this parable, we see different metaphors like a man to leave and entrusting money to slaves and returning. And this parable is one of the Q parables. Q parables means some parables are found in Matthew and Luke, but not in Mark. In Matthew's parable, we have, talents, monetary units. Talents were received a huge money. In Luke, Minas, okay, Minas is a pound. It's a different monetary unit. A smaller unit of money is given in Lucan story. But there are reasons why they tell the same parable of Jesus differently. There is some issues regarding eschatology and mission. So we'll see more about that later. And obviously, in the end, we need to hear from Jesus what this parable is about. So first of all, we need to read the parable proper very closely. Matthew 25, for it is as if a man going on a journey summoned his slaves and entrusted his property to them. His property, entire property to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. Then he went away means there's no promise of return, right? As if he were going forever, not returning. And he gave all his property, a lot of money. Now, verse 16 here, the one who had received the 5 talents went off at once and traded with them and made 5 more talents. Good business. In the same way, the one who had the 2 talents made 2 more talents. But the one who had received the 1 talent went off and dug a hole in the ground. How smart he was. Is he really smart? I don't think so, but somehow looked smart. And hid his master's money. And after a long time, right? After a long time, eventually the master of those slaves came and settled the account with them. Then the one who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 more talents, saying, Master, you handed over to me 5 talents. See, I have made 5 more talents. His master said to him, well done, good and trustworthy slave. You have been trustworthy in a few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. And the story continues. And the one with the 2 talents also came forward saying, Master, you handed over to me 2 talents. See, I have made 2 more talents. His master said to him, well done, good and trustworthy slave. You have been trustworthy in a few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. The same compliment, right? Then the one who had received the 1 talent also came forward saying, notice here what he says, Master, I knew that you were harsh man, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you did not scatter seed. So I was afraid. I was afraid. And I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what's yours. But his master replied, you wicked and lazy slave. You knew, did you, that I reap where I did not sow and gather where I did not scatter? That's wrong. That's deception. That's your misunderstanding of me, right? That's kind of what this man is saying to his slave. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and on my return, I would have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to the one with the 10 talents. For to all those who have, more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. Oh, very harsh. As for this worthless slave, throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Pretty miserable end, right? And Lucan version, see here, chapter 19. As they were listening to this, he went on to tell a parable because he was near Jerusalem, and because they supposed that the kingdom of God was to appear immediately. So he said this parable. A nobleman, right? Not just a man, a nobleman went to a distant country to get royal power for himself and then returned. There is a clear purpose of leaving his home, to get royal power for himself and then return. He summoned 10 of his slaves and gave them 10 pounds, meaning 10 minas, right? The same, mina, 1 pound, 10 pounds, and said to them, do business with this. Do business with this until I come back. It's a very clear direction is given, okay? Such short time, right? Do business with this minus pounds until I come back. But the citizens of his country hated him and sent a delegation after him and saying, we do not want this man to rule over us. When he returned, having received the royal power, he ordered these slaves to whom he had given the money to be summoned so that he might find out what they had gained by trading. The first came forward and said, Lord, your pound has made 10 more pounds. He said to him, well done, good slave, because you have been trustworthy in a very small thing. Take charge of 10 cities. Then the second came saying, Lord, your pound has made 5 more pounds. He said to him, and you rule over 5 cities. So far, so good. Then the other came saying, Lord, here is your pound. I wrapped it up in a piece of cloth. Where? Cloth. Why? For I was afraid of you, because you are a harsh man, just like Matthew, we heard a similar thing. I was afraid of you because you are a harsh man, right? I knew you were a harsh man. You take what you did not deposit and reap what you did not sow. But he said to him, I will judge you by your own words, you wicked slave. You knew, did you, that I was a harsh man, taking what I did not deposit and reaping what I did not sow? Why then did you not put my money into the bank? Then when I returned, I could have collected it with interest. He said to the bystanders, take the pound from him and give it to the one who has 10 pounds. And they said to him, Lord, he has 10 pounds. I tell you, to all those who have, more will be given. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. Oh, hard to hear. But as for these enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. Oh, terrible. Now see the differences between Matthew and Luke. In terms of what kind of man, in Matthew, just a man. But in Luke, a nobleman. reason to live. In Matthew, just a journey. No purpose stated there. No purpose of journey stated. How long was not mentioned there, without promise of return. But in Luke, very different, okay? He goes to receive royal power, receive a kingdom, right? To become a king, in other words, and return, shortly return right after. And how much money is given or entrusted? In Matthew, entrusting his property means entire money, property, right? Altogether 8 talents, because 3 slaves, 5, 3, and 1, 5 talents, 2 talents, 1 talent, right? Altogether 8 talents. So 1 talent is 6,000 denarii, which means 16 years wage. So 8 talents total means more than 100 years of wage. It's a lot of money was entrusted to his slaves. And in Luke, it's different, okay? Just 10 minas, altogether 10 minas, okay, to 10 slaves, which means 1 pound, 1 mina to each slave. Okay, so 10 minas means 10,000 denarii, right? And with this money, the nobleman asking for business, do business with this money and make a profit. When I return, I'll see how much money you gained. So there is a clear purpose given, but also not a lot of huge entire property was given, but just a bit of money, 1 pound for each person. And to whom and how much? As I said, in Matthew, his slaves, 5 talents, 2 talents, 1 talent was given according to his ability. This is another important thing. According to his ability, right? His slaves did not receive the same, talents based on his ability. One received 5 talents, another one 2 talents, another one 1 talent. But still, 1 talent is a lot of money. As I said here, 6,000 denarii means 16 years of wage. But in Luke, 10 slaves received 10 minas. So 1 pound per person, the same amount, but much smaller money than, Matthew's talent. What happened to a slave with 1 talent or 1 mina? In Matthew, the guy dug a hole in the ground and hid it, right? It's smart. In some sense, he's smart because he maintained the original, right? Money value 1 talent. Because he did not do anything, just kept it safe in somehow. And in Luke, we see another interesting idea here, right? Not in the ground, but wrapped it up in a piece of cloth. That's another smart strategy, but that's not really, smart. So let's look at the, Matthean interpretation of the parable. In other words, how Matthew understands the parable proper, okay? Matthew's community is given the abundant grace of God and the responsibilities, right? Talents, 1 talent is a lot of money, means well, Matthew's community and members received a lot of responsibilities from God, right? It's amazing gift, and the responsibility was entrusted to the community. Enormous responsibility they have. One receives 1 talent, right? And according to one's ability, right? So ability means, we receive the different amount of responsibilities, okay? In Matthew's community, not all have the same responsibilities, okay? That's something Matthew's interpretation. And there's no mention about what to do with talents, right? That's interesting. When you compare with Luke, okay? Luke, a nobleman says, do business with this money. So I will return and see how much money you have gained. But in Matthew, almost as if he were going forever, not returning, right? So which means what? The slaves had to think, for himself, and self-decision, what they should do, right? Self-determination and work ethic, what they should do in honor of their master, right? What should they do? So that is somehow very interesting. And no mention of a man's return means what? They have to work hard, right? Okay, they have to work hard, even if there's no promise of return, but still they have to work hard. And the other point is do your best, right? The one who received 1 talent, what's the problem for him? Because he hid the enormous money or responsibility or talent gift in the ground. Do your best. Don't waste your gift, talents, money, opportunities, time, whatever you have, gifts you received from God. Try, do something. Don't waste even the time, right? But in the end, Matthew edited and added, a few more verses there. When you read them, you don't feel good, because even I don't feel good, because there is harsh treatment and judgment of a slave in such a way, that's unimaginable. Is it too much? Okay, but this, the redaction, right, represents somehow Matthew's eschatology. Matthew's what? Eschatology. Thinks about the end. In other words, Matthew's theology is always clear in Matthew's gospel. What is that? Until the final judgment, until the day. They don't know when, but until that day of the end. Okay, all people have responsibilities and they have time, but when the time comes, there will be a result and consequence. Okay, so that is Matthew's eschatology. Until that day, you must do your work hard, and if the time comes, that's the end, right? There is a time of harvest. Now look at interpretation of the parable. Each member is given the same amount of money, 1 mina or 1 pound, which implies the same mission work common to everybody in the Lucan community. A common task of what? Probably discipleship, right? Quite interestingly enough, in Lucan gospel, a common task of discipleship is to seek out to save the lost. To seek out to save the lost. That's the Lucan mission, great mission, right? That mission is the same to everyone. Whether you are pastor or elder or deacon, accountant, or whatever job, secular job, or in church you have, the basic your responsibility is what? To do this job, to seek out and to save the lost. So somehow, okay, in Lucan interpretation of this pound, the money, unit pound, smaller unit than, in Matthew, right? And also equal amount of money is given to the slaves, may represent that kind of the common task of mission or discipleship. There is also strong demand for business, right? The nobleman clearly says, do business, right? And then I will return. I would see, okay, what you did, right? So make a profit, do business. I would see, check what you did. Means what? There's very clear direction, a direction about the mission. And also, if I say it, there is a practical business mindset in Lucan theology. Very practical business mindset. Think about it. Now let's hear from Jesus. From the original parable of Jesus? What does he want to tell us? What does he want to challenge us? What does he want to challenge us? Probably, a few things I may suggest. Each person is given a valuable gift, a grace of God, right? Whether it would be 1 talent or, pounds. Basically, we are given a gift and responsibility. So the ethical part is do your best, work ethic, right? Do your best. Do it. Just do it and try it. If you have something, the place to invest what you have is not the ground. The ground is the place the seeds, must be sown, right? The seeds must be sown to the ground. But what you have, your talent, your gift, should be spent on the world and for the people, right? That's very, very important. Just do it. Don't waste your opportunity and time and gift. While you're doing so, don't worry about failure or future. Just do it. The rest is up to God. Right? That's probably what Jesus, tells us about the meaning of this parable. Now, finally, reflection. Think about this question, this real question. If a slave with 1 talent or 1 mina, try to do something, okay? Try to do something with that money, 1 talent or 1 mina, but failed. Try to do something but failed. Would he receive the same harsh judgment? I don't think so. Think about it. Would he receive the same harsh judgment? Or was it okay for him because he just tried, right? It's certainly possible. You tried your best, but you could fail, I could fail. Then whose fault? Let's think about it, okay? You did your best in good way, but still we could fail, right? For many different reasons. So case by case, we have to think about it, okay? Simply because we did not succeed, that doesn't mean that we are wrong, okay? Success does not guarantee that, right? All you did is right, right? So we have to think carefully, okay? What does this parable teaches us is not, simply because we did not make success. We could fail. The problem is not whether we succeeded or failed, but whether we did our best, trusting God. That's my final question for you, and think about it. My viewers in the US and globally, and thank you for watching me. And if you like this video, certainly you may like it. More importantly, I really hope you will subscribe to this channel because I would add more excellent videos. Okay, thank you so much. See you next time with another parable. Bye bye. God bless you.